Hello everyone, Benjamin Kallenberg here from www.consciousazine.com. So I was just looking on a friend of mine's timeline, trying to see what maybe she might want to hear about in the food plant domain, and I thought, well, let's just go into some of the pages in consciousazine. Let's look into the gut, because I've been procrastinating for a while now on a video called Probiotica, which is going to be my version of what I think is a good way, a multi-dimensional way to approach the gut health. And let's have a look what's on the all-around health page first, because there is links here about, as they call it in the gut, health having a large consequence on your brain and how much sort of connection there is. So it's here somewhere, let's have a look. Yeah, here we go. Disease beginning in the gut. Some other authors will say that, so that's why I put that as the title. So there's a few links there. You know, we all know now that there's diverse microbe communities in the gut, the nerve cells as well, and that's what I was saying. There's more connections from, say, the heart to the brain than there is from the brain to the heart, and there's also connections from the gut to the brain, and so they fire off. When you have parasites connected up and viruses in your brain, they fire off certain neuropsychological disorders, even from IBS and Crohn's and stuff like this. It means this, and gut dysbiopia, and there's many things that dysbiosis. Sorry, there's many ways that the gut can show that it's out of balance. And the probiotics seem to just balance it. Nature does its thing, living bacteria help, and that's why I say don't always fully clean off the outside of your dandelion root that you forage, because some of that is B12 producing. That's going to have methyl groups for liver detoxification stage 1, the methylation like you get from beetroots. Same you can get from B12. It has a lot of methyl groups as well in B6 and B9. But yeah, so yeah, the lack of gut diversity. And my favourite drink is kombucha. It has to be because it's bubbly. It makes me avoid any soft drinks completely because you get the bubbliness. And kombucha is a probably on here as well. Let's go down. That's my favourite probiotic. Generally speaking, it's something that's a tonic and you can have it all the time as well, so it's not like bad for you. Here's, I think, a weak post, or bad wheat post, leaky gut post, stuff like that. Kombucha is a way to rebuild sauerkraut, pickles, stuff like this. So there's kimchi, yogurt, raw cheese. Let's see. Here's another post on gut bacteria, regulate nerve fiber insulation. So say the gut bacteria are removed and the nerves are exposed and stuff like that. So myelination. So you take olive oil and coconut oil, you just take a little spoonful sometimes internally, just some of the really good stable oils, which are not going to be as rancid, most likely, because there's a lot of dubious stuff going on even with olive oil. Hey look, it even says myelin is a fatty substance which wraps around the nerve fibres. So, you know, like hemp seeds and stuff as well. And those omega-3s as well, they help with the myelination. And I'm trying to find the kombucha post here. Here we go. So there's a nice picture of some kombucha. And we just make that. It's basically a symbiotic culture. It's a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. So it's actually an acronym. It's very tried and tested because it's been used for 2,000 years. It's not just been made in a laboratory recently. And it's alive and sticking with that theme of living stuff. And like your body, guality. You know, it looks like it would help your gut and repair your gut, right? And this is my favourite one out of everything. People like Dr. Axe or Dr. Aches will say, you know, bone broth. He always goes on about the bone broth being really healing for the gut, and definitely. But again, this is like, it's still, I guess, a kind of animal product, because they're little bacteria and yeast. But, you know, it's a more vegan version, and it does feel more lighter in my body. And you just want it straight. You don't want to really always mix it with essential oils and stuff. You can, like I showed in my other video, one of my Amalgam Maximum Novelty Health videos. So there's a lot of links on that as well, how to make it all. Yeah, so we don't want to be using all the crap big oils. I know it's cheap and I see a lot of people doing it when I visit their homes. Well, there's that cool post on the sonar sound, sort of like sound weapons for health. Magnetic pulsar, silver pulsar, lightworks, biotuner. I'm not totally vegan, but I think we should orientate ourselves more that way. I think that's one grid of good type eating. I have a video on YouTube, How to Eat, under Benjamin Cowenberg YouTube channel. And in that, there's a picture, a really good picture of across the grids, you know, liquidarian, breatharian, liquidarian, vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, carnivore, you know, and they're all grids. Now, it's just that you eat carnivore way less. Sometimes you may need to go into some sort of animal product for oils or something, or maybe it is for protein if you can't get it from all these foods closer to the sun, sort of like the spirulinas, even goji berries have a lot of protein, chia, all those good protein foods, the bee pollen. They're very clean protein, like super clean, and building, very building. So anyway, let's go. What's the other page? If I scroll down this menu, let thy food be thy medicine page. Let's see. There's some cannabis stuff on. A woman replaces 40 medications with raw cannabis, so that's a good link. Really good link there by Get Holistic Health, I think via other websites as well. Okay, this could be it. Candida. Well, there's a nice big post on Candida. We've all heard about Candida now. It's basically like a yeast, and if you eat too much sugar, it can even go crazy and make your teeth white. You can Google images, some of the really bad cases. Who wants to end up like that, you know? None of us really want to go out like that. And yeah, it definitely can have its effects. So a lot of effects there on the list. Now that doesn't mean just if you have a headache it's definitely Candida, but you've got to see, oh, is it the Candida? Is it something else? Is it this other thing? Is it something I ate, etc.? But yeah, this is just one more thing for the equation. of the health. The most complex equation, health. Seems very complex equation, and we don't know what we're doing so much. So there's even some diet help plans. I think there's a big article there from who's this? Possibly this is from Dr. Axe, this part here, and weaved in with some, yeah, there, and weaved in with some other material. Just this link here. Now, so there's some, some things. Well, let's go into that then. Top candida diet foods: apple cider vinegar, sauerkraut, ferments. You just go out to your garden, pick a few greens, some carrots, some root crops, mix it up. Just put all kinds of things in your ferments. I love strawberries as the sugar, as well as a little bit of brown sugar, but I'll put minimal brown sugar in and just go off that sweet fruit sugar, pineapple, and my favourite strawberries for ferments. I don't really like stevia. It's in the health movement large, so I'm sure you've heard of it. Steviol, though, I did do a video on steviol being anti-Lyme disease. So anti-Lyme disease, so it's got something powerful in there. The steviol, one of the main compounds in stevia. Garlic, all this stuff, bone broth, all that's good. Powdiaco, definitely. Now, you could replace Powdiaco with cinnamon. It's basically the same stuff. They're both tree barks that work very, very similarly in the human body. So Powdiaco, you can just put cinnamon. It's going to have about the exact same effect on your body. And it's probably more common. So, yeah, look, there's a nice little drawing of some worms and some parasites that we all have in our bodies, unless you're always cleansing and you're always building. But see, people are caught in always cleanse mode, and I'm always trying to teach people to build as well. For instance, I'll always use the example of chlorella is more of a stripper and cleaner, and spirulina, because they look exactly the same, cyanobacteria, and these, what people call algae and all this stuff, but the cyanobacteria, and spirulina is the builder. It'll deposit more mineralization in your body. Chlorella will sort of move stuff out more. But it also builds, chlorella, but spirulina is just more of the building. Anyway, so here's some good deparasiting stuff. Wormwood. Yeah, look, I've had that before. It tastes horrible, so you just want to weave that in somehow, or just take it. My advice is that you take it, experience the horrible taste. You might even wrap some, cacao, honey, bee pollen, wrap it into a protein ball with wormwood at the center, and deliver it into your body in a tricky way like that. Same with the cloves, or you can just chew on a few cloves. Once I had like 25, 30 cloves or something, and it was way too much, and I had heart arrhythmia, so don't be like me. I think I even wrote about that, 30 cloves. Yeah, it was a lot in there. A handful. A little tiny handful in the middle of my hand. So you only want to have, 5 cloves or something max. You do not want to even have over 10 really. But, cloves is the highest antioxidant, natural antioxidant. It's more than turmeric, it's more than a carrot, it's more than lemon, it's more than everything else on this list. So, it's right up the top, more than cacao. So here's some other things. Papaya seeds, definitely. And what you can do with pawpaw or papaya seeds, they're both the same, and both these plants produce these little seeds which are like granules, basically the same size as pepper, and you turn your papaya seeds into pepper. So you can use the whole papaya tree, so good. You can use every part of that. You can even smoke the leaves through the stem of the leaf. You could probably build a raft, a really good raft out of the wood. Anyway, pomegranate is good, in structured water. But yeah, not the best thing for deparasiting. I'd say go more, the garlic, the lemon. After you, say, do deep body tissue work, do lemon. And that'll help with certain types of arthritis as well. Turmeric all the time. People say it's got oxalic acid. Well, from what I've felt from eating it and Look, you just rub some on your gums. You just mix maybe a little bit with some honey. You do, and that's your sugar, you know. And that's all, basically, you want to do. But you want to do that with, say, some cinnamon as well, and bee pollen or something. And then you're really getting somewhere. And that's how we can use all these superfoods and stuff. I've had some really good protein balls from a few health shops back in Australia as well. Put your goji berries in there. So I don't know about rice vinegar. I haven't tried that for anti-parasiting. 3 to 4 glasses. Yeah, I don't know. I'd stick with things like the cloves and the really powerful things you only need a little bit of. Also, seeds. A lot of seeds. I guess this is where I should add my part in of, like, you know how people say there's too much cyanide in an apple seed? You can take a few cups and get severely ill. If you have too many cups, you could get cyanide poisoning and die. But, you know, if you eat an apple and eat the seeds, that's balanced, and that's how it's come naturally. So that's the way I recommend doing it. And even a little handful of the seeds for a parasite cleanse, but you don't do that every day. You know, it's something you do, I don't know, now and then, as often as you want with your lifestyle. It might be every week, it might be every 2 weeks. You don't need to go about this absolutely crazily, but if you think about our environment, there's like 80,000 toxins introduced since World War I or something. You know, there's all these bacteria everywhere. There's all these there's a world down there of worms, of, you know, tiny insects, and all this stuff we don't know everything about. So I like to also do parasite cleanses to clean the inside of my body, not just shower or surf. Yeah, again, turmeric is like cannabis. It's really good for the body. If we get raw turmeric and raw cannabis, you're already fighting half the problems in your body. Just those two things. You know, that's why they're called superfoods. That, goji berries, the cacao. If we just stayed on these good foods, I guarantee you, after about a year or two, you just feel very ecstatic. You've just got to weave it into your diet slowly at the start. After a few years, you're on it, and that's all you're having. And you're just finding all these unique ways to get them into you, and that becomes the only problem. You don't have health problems, you have problems of how to get the good foods into you after a few years. So yeah. Sugar, yeah, look, sugar interrupts everything, and it seems to feed all of the bad guys. That's the way I'd summarize it. All the parasites, all the bad stuff, does not mind sugar. What it does not enjoy is high vibration. So if you meditate, you're grounding. Grounding is not just imagining you're grounded. It's going outside and actually being barefoot on earth and being connected. And stuff like that to really kick off all these things. Because I've noticed with proper breathing techniques, like the Buddhists and stuff will also chime in on this, that we can get rid of, like they say, 75% of the bacteria in our body just by breathing techniques. Mudras and mantras, not really, but mudras, moving the body subtly around in the energy field. So it's not just what we eat, we have to remember the multi-dimensional part of healing. If your meridian is, you know, blocked or down, or you're not pushing a higher light through your meridians, then you have more problems in your body. Like I've got a tooth problem right now because I'm a meridian, so I've got to sort this out with turmeric and cloves myself. I think I might have a bacterial infection. So anyway, look at all the stuff there about fibre as well, because then we remove things, and that's the back end of, you know, all your cleansing, or your taking all your deparasiting substances. And if you haven't tried it, you should try a really good zeolite. Try and get good stuff that seems to be less inert, more inert, less inert. So, I don't know, just try and get stuff that feels like it has a bit of, I don't know, field about it or something, or life, you know. A little bit less static of a feel. some stuff. I'm not sure about the colour because I'm not too experienced with it, but if it's meant to be white, if it's meant to be silver. Look, mine had a lot of magnesium in it as well, and potassium, and I think phosphorus even. And so it's not just what I thought it was, like silica. So it's kind of like a multivitamin powder, really. And I've moved away from those powders. The multivitamin powders, that's not the way I think we want to get our vitamins, by the way. I think we want living vegetables and fruits to get our vitamins. And the vitamins in the pill form and the powders just don't assimilate as well in the body. They don't get uptaken so well and integrated as well. And in the powders, I've moved to things like turmeric. So then you've got your void to fill of your powder, so to speak. And so you move, in your powders, you move in your spices. And I think that's where we should be centering our powdered habit. And yeah, you put them in smoothies too. Throw a little bit in there. So there's an interesting post on, if you've ever heard of these, the doshas. I should have probably written that there, doshas, but that's what they are, the doshas. You can read about that. And the energy of food, that's where you start to get into the energy of food. But that's only, in my opinion, an entrance. I think you can feel where every food in your body goes to. So, you know, oh yeah, look at that. I was planning on making a $30 Bandit on it. So I may as well turn this video into that. Into a kerfuffle? Yeah, look. So I may as well turn this video into something on probiotics. So here's a few links. Sorry, I'm just lying down. My mouth was drying up. So here's some, like, you know, more peer-reviewed article links, and if you want to go into that, and I don't really want to get into that right here and be boring. I think that's better read in your own time and fully read, so that you spend the night reading it. And that's why I've left it all up here on this page. That's the link. So 70% of all people are affected by Candida. Some universities have spoken up and said. Some people will say 50%. But so, yeah, it seems to be quite high. You know, everyone who's fat and has a gut belly, you definitely got some sort of issue with Candida. It may not be super severe, but yeah, you've definitely got an issue that you should treat because it affects your mind. These things definitely affect our mind. I've noticed how we feel during the day. If we feel really drained, some days it can be that. Say you might wash through with some water or something, or some tea, and you already notice the difference. Like some olive leaf tea, myrtle leaf tea, and just try and pick these things. Then you get back to nature and you get grounded as well anyway. It's worth, you know, planting these all over the place, because everybody can use them, or most people. Yeah, weakened immune systems, and that's where the super herbs come in. And a lot of people are not taking super herbs. I don't know, it's a bit of a classification problem for some people. For instance, is goji berries a herb or is it a berry? Well, it's kind of both, and it's kind of a super herb. But, you know, it's more on the things like just trying to somehow weave in all these powerful things like andrographis, as horrible as they taste, and just trying somehow to weave in the best, most powerful things. Like lemon myrtle, it doesn't taste exactly the best, or olive leaf tea does not taste the best either, but you mix it in with things like hibiscus and chamomile and all your normal teas, and, you know, you just add that heightened super herb, heightened immunity edge to your normal tea, very simply by throwing in a few leaves of one of these things like andrographis, the lemon myrtle, the olive leaves, and you know, all these olive trees I'm finding all over the world. I'm even in Uruguay finding them in schools, and so in Australia they're around the place. People plant things like that. You know, some of you people can also use, I could not because it brought out crystals, I think, in my lymph system or something. I'm not sure what happened, but I got itchy somehow through my skin from taking mango leaves, say 10 mango leaves, big leaves, but granted they were from the turpentine mango I found out in the end, so and that's a very terpene rich mango, so it was just maybe the terpenes in there and the terpenoids, so maybe a different mango leaf would be very suitable for me, and I'll try one day. But yeah, try that out, because that's really a gut healing tonic. And it's these kind of things, that and the kombucha, which go out and really clean through the gut really well. Because you have them all the time, and it's really a regulatory thing. Same with chewing on a bit of cinnamon or pau d'arco. Same thing, you know, just their tonics. You can do that most of the time, most days in your life. Not every day necessarily, but yeah. So that's giving that, you know, strong underbase. Something about L-arginine here, through its versatile metabolistic and physiological pathways, can improve many functions of the body. It enhances sexual performance in males, it protects from as well as heals gastric ulcers. So there you go, it has some effect in the hormone arena and in the gut as well. Growth hormone production and stimulated. So I wanted to get down to the soil-based bacteria, because I know this is a new thing now around 2017 in the health movement. People like Dr. Axe are getting into this sort of thing. Soil-based probiotics. I haven't heard as much in this arena from, say, Dr. Kazar or David Wolf, for instance. It's more, I've heard a tiny bit from Dr. Axe's book, and he has a book, something to do with probiotics, and throughout history, Eat Dirt. I think it's actually called Eat Dirt by Dr. Axe, so that's a good one. Anyway, here's some bacteria. Probably you guys know this. Remember, L. plantarum was one that I had in a nut cheese, a cashew cheese, cashew nut cheese. A little bit of garlic stuff in there and some other stuff, dill. But L. plantarum was the living culture, and we, you know, for our teeth as well, we're meant to get one living culture in us. That research from, what's her name? Bill Gates' wife. I forgot her name now. Bill Gates' wife, her research into, you know, fermentation and live cultures and stuff. They've concluded in that area, those guys, that, you know, we need like one live culture, and we get a biofilm around our teeth. And ones from the yogurts. Now, if you go for yogurt, I also showed in my videos the Amalgaman Maximum Novelty Health videos, Amalgaman Maximum Novelty Health videos on YouTube. In one of those out of the 7, I remember showing good yogurt, and it had no sugar. Basically, that's where I'll leave it. Multi, it had, you know, Cassii, it had Acidophilus, and it had Bacteria bifidum. It had a few of them, maybe even this one here. So it had like 3 or 4 or 5, and then there's one that I showed from the common supermarket that also just has one. I can't remember, I think it's just Acidophilus. It has one, but no sugar, and it's really common. That Jalna, but there's a specific Jalna, not vanilla flavour, it's biodynamic flavour. So not strawberry, not chocolate flavour, but biodynamic gardening flavour. So that's biodynamic gardening from Rudolf Steiner. So if you don't know about that, look into that, that's pretty cool. Basically the most complex gardening you can do. you can make that there's theories of Rudolf Steiner in gardening, along with everything else that we know, vermiculture, whatever, whether it's working with worms or good soil, just everything we know about gardening. And his stuff turns out into the most complex gardening method because he's using kind of astrology as well, so and different interesting, it's energy gardening too. So, and here's some other types of soil bacteria. That one, there's the book, Why Eating Dirt Can Heal a Leaky Gut, or maybe that's a video or something, because his book is called Eat Dirt, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Bacillus subtilis, that one, Clausii, and coagulans. So there's a few more to look into. And then actinobacteria and acetobacteria aceti. So there's two more. So this is where we're kind of up to in the soil-based bacteria movement. In the larger probiotic movement, we're into soil-based bacteria. That's kind of fringe and coming into it now. It's not like it's been really worked through. I don't have the product in my hand. It's not, ubiquitous. It's not a big thing yet. It's not mainstream, so to speak, yet. Really. Anyway, there's a lot of references there too. Wall Street Journal, Cutting Us in Food Microbiology. So there's a few links on all the gut stuff, probiotics. Because I know Linnell Childers that you wanted to, get rid of any problems that you had with your gut. And here's actually, I think, something, I started looking into products, and there's some product, hopefully I don't get in trouble for showing it. I'm just saying, hey, look, here's a good, well, it looked a reasonable product. I think this is what's in there. That's what's in there. That's why I wanted to show it, because look, they show their ingredients, and I think that's good. So I'm backing whoever this is. I don't know who's created this, but I think it's good because look, they show it. I remember others did not show it, so they had secret formulas, and I'm not into that. I think we should show everyone, and then maybe someone else can not copyright it, and that's for the ego, copyright, but better it and evolve it. Who knows? Or maybe you can add just light to their world, just knowing something might come out of this and make me think of a new recipe I can make. Because look, these all could just turn into like hundreds of different recipes. So there we go, there's more here from another link. I think that's another supplement. So you've got Custom B5, and then there's this Primal Defense one. 7 ways to eat more dirt. Maybe that's the title of his book, or maybe that's from a video, I'm not sure. But yeah, look, there's a list of things that can help, and definitely because you tune your immune system into nature. And some people say we should eat a spoonful of dirt before we're 3 years old. And, before we're very young, like 5 years old, I remember I did have some dirt. I ate dirt a little bit. I remember trying it. So now and then, I remember a kid trying to feed me dirt as well. Anyway, yeah, look, I don't know about getting a dog and all this stuff, or a cat. Yeah, there's positives to both, but I mean, to combat your allergies and stuff, I don't know about that. It can work in cases, definitely, but in cases it cannot, and I don't want to just push buying animals so much as well, because people don't seem to look after them. Your animals are as conscious as your children, and yet you put them outside. And I'll leave it at that. So there's some good stuff on phytonutrients from Benjamin Cauenberg, overviewing several different great works from other people. Here's just a little bit on what the body needs. I remember this post as well. Difference between raw and cooked food. Okay, raw food's going to contain these, cooked food, you don't get these so good, or not at all. all broken down hormones or something, right? So the raw food has it all intact. So there's a good post I want you all to go over, because that took me a long time to make this post. It was a good one. So several articles, and I weaved things in and out of there. And then there's a huge section on soy, how it's not good. Look how much that there is on soy being not good. One time I was living with someone, and the boyfriend of a girl I was living with said, "Oh, I read some article. Well, look how many I've read." But he said, "I read some article that soy is not bad for us," and I was looking at his third eye while he said it, and I could just see the fog of it in there, and the vibration of it in there, and the estrogenization over his face. Anyway, so look, there's a good post on that as well. Let's stop here, because that's probably enough information for now. That's a lot of information to just sort out. Just sort out this whole video in your life, everything I've said, and you go already a long way to improving yourself and improving your health, which seems to improve just us, you know, whatever we are. Whatever it is we are, it seems to help with an overall, you know, better experience. Anyway, so which foods have the most protein? A lot of foods close to the sun we're finding out. There's Cyanobacterium, spirulina, chlorella, hemp seeds. Now, I wish they were more common, because they're almost my favourite protein, I have to say. And I really feel it from that. You know, it's really filling. 2 handfuls of hemp seeds is really filling, and they're hulled and they're packaged, but they're really good. They're oily. They're seeping with oil. The good ones, you know. And chia seeds, yeah, they're okay too. For me, the hemp seeds feel more filling even, and then the bee pollen also feels quite filling. It might not be 50 and 40%, but these are higher than meat that's cooked. Unless you're having raw meat, then you're having maybe 20-30%, maybe 40% tops protein. But these things, you know, you're not cooking them, it's just all raw stuff, and it's just straight up clean protein, and it's definitely 30-40% or something, you know. So uncooked meat might even be as low as 20%. So if it's, you know, half uncooked and medium rare or something, I don't know exactly, but definitely when you cook meat, you're breaking down the amino acid profiles that make up protein, and these have it all intact, you know. So it's clean, intact protein, and it seems to be more powerful. I mean, you're stressing the protein in the meat under heat. What happens to you under heat? You get stressed and you don't function properly either. So heat, thermodynamics change things, and you know, all this stuff is not going to be cooked. So you don't want to cook spirulina, bee pollen, goji berries, chia, or hemp seeds. You don't want to cook any of this. So yeah, and sprouts was an interesting one brought up by the guy from the Hippocrates Institute, that director, I forgot his name now. He's on the health longevity conferences with David Wolf and stuff. The guy from Hippocrates Institute. Anyway, so he brought up a good point of the sprouts as well, because they fold out. Why is it in the protein list if it's sprouts or seeds? Well, because, say, what was I going to say? It's, you know, say 100 grains of this or 100 sprouts of that folds out into more food. So it's really times 10. So say you start with 10, well then you get 100. 10 seeds, and you know, they fold out, and so that's why it was a really good adage, I thought. So in the end, you can get good protein from, say, broccoli sprouts, and you're going to have lower sulforaphane and more of the positive things from the sprout version of broccoli too. Remember, sulforaphane can be a double-edged sword in broccoli, and it can affect good healthy cells as well as be anti-tumoral. And other anti-tumoral substances will be the same. They can affect healthy cells, and that's why they're medicinal and not a tonic. You know, a tonic is something that goes easier on the body. And then there's elixirs and there's tinctures, you know. But today we're discussing tonics and anti-parasitical stuff, and now protein. So I want you to, I really would like you to have a look through some of these links, you know. It took me a while to put them all up. This is a good post here. It's still on the same page. This is just the one page in consciousazine. There's other pages on health. And then there's more stuff. Cacao versus cacao. Yeah, look, oregano oil, neem, definitely some golden seal, maybe. Some propolis in the mouth, for sure, turmeric. I haven't experimented with bromelain, but pineapple has that, so, you know, that brings up an interesting point to end on the anti-parasitical sort of probiotic thing, or theme, in this video. Pineapple and its bromelain is good, and probiotic as well, and that's a good point, because what you want to look for is, you know, the pineapple having its orange quality, so it becomes orange. Before it's brown, then, you know, if it starts turning brown, you probably want to start throwing it out. But you can use it definitely when it's orange, and that's the best time, when it's a very orange one. And it's producing a lot of probiotic action, and if you look under the surface of the pineapple, you'll see a lot of white probiotic activity. And so it's a really good natural one, and helps you with your ferments as well. Helps build the culture. There's some, you know, types of parasites there. I dare say she might be one. The Belgian health minister. And look, let's end by grounding and the vibration thing. It turns out, and I've found this from my own experience, I heard this said by Dr. Kazar from Hawaii, from earthshiftproducts.com, I think it is, or .net, whatever. He was saying, you know, that these parasites don't seem to like living in high vibrations. And so when we're eating all these good foods, we're raising our vibration, say from eating meat and stuff like that, low vibrational things, and animal discharges, more like cheese and stuff. And some people cut out yogurt and dairy altogether, you know. Those people definitely are existing out there. Some of them quite healthy, and only the ones that seem to know what they're really doing in research. But so grounding and the vibration factor, get your aura up. It stops actual people draining you as well, and say they cough, you can bounce that off your aura a little bit. That actually is a thing that can happen. You can feel things enter, so then you can move out of the way, for instance. When you're very sensitive, in a very sensitive aura, if you sit there for a while and meditate on it, you can feel things flying through the air in your aura. So definitely want to ground without shoes and get all the electricity off us and be clear. Charcoal. Yeah, activated coconut charcoal powder. So, yeah, it's microporous and it absorbs, you know, toxins. So that's another thing we could just end in. Toxins as part of, you know, revamping, modifying the inside of your body, and really, you know, modifying it and changing it up a lot from whatever's there now. This is going to sweep through. Something like activated coconut charcoal is going to be a sweeper. So like a cleaner, coming through and cleaning your building or your house, and really like dust it out, you know. It's going to take out a lot of toxins, up to 4,000, thousands of toxins. So it's a powerful one. And so you can see when we're on these powerful ones, we can actually combat the 80,000 toxins that have been made since World War I in this world. And you know, we have to just get smart about it. Include our iodine, etc. So I think that's what this product contains. That's one of Earthshift products from Dr. Kazar while we're talking about it. There's his website there. One of his products there I must have put up. Because he, again, wrote it out good. He has good, look at the ingredient list. So, and a good bit of advice there. Fulvic acid and gut health, well, there's another thing, and that brings us back to soil-based bacteria. See, the soil-based bacteria is in this region. Fulvic and humic acid is from humus, or soil, humus, or soil. That's what soil is, humus. Soil humus and humic acid, and fulvic acid, and then all these little creatures, and it's an alive, moving medium, the forest floor. So this is how we want to get the inside of our gut, an alive, moving medium. With all these things, fulvic acid and humic acids, I've not experimented too much with them, but yeah, I can see they would have aromatic quality, I think, about them as well, or maybe almost that halogenic effect, like iodine. I'm not sure, but it's possible that that's there too, because remember, aromatics are molecules as well. So I haven't worked with those. Shilajit as well is another brown sort of substance, which is from a deeper, denser sort of strata layer, geographically speaking and geologically speaking. Shilajit is below the Himalaya salt, then the Himalaya solate crystals, and then Shilajit's below there. So it's brown, and so it's very mineralized. What do we know about Himalaya salt? Remember, that's very mineralized, and so Shilajit is as well. But it also cleanses. So it's another one of these really cool substances. The Shilajit, it's a builder, very mineralized. It will build you, and it will strip or cleanse and clean you at the same time, just like chlorella and spirulina, for instance. Something like clove, for instance, is more of a stripper. Something like turmeric is more of one of these ones, a stripper and a builder. So it does both. Turmeric, same sort of thing. So look, there's a few interesting posts here. That was my favourite propolis I found back in Australia. And it was actually a thick 60% propolis one. It wasn't watered down. In Uruguay here, I've only found watered down versions. This was good. This could treat HPV. This could treat herpes. This was really a quality one. Now you would apply that every day. You basically got to choke the actual warts, the actual herpes with this. That's how you got to use that. You know the banana remedy, they say you can rub bananas on warts for 2 weeks? It's not just that you rub it on there, it's about holding it on there. And that's why some people actually tie the banana around their finger if they have a wart or something. But HPV, for instance, is on the genitals, and on your genitals you want to be a bit more careful, and this is, you know, really the queen liquid, the king liquid, propolis from the bee. This is what they feed the queen bee as well, so this is as good as it gets, sort of thing. So definitely this is really good for your mouth health in a probiotic sense, I have to say as well. I don't know who makes this, the people, but it was a really good product. 25 mil, I can't remember how much it cost, but worth it, whatever it cost. Get it into your, you know, your routine or something. I wish I still had some. I think I had experienced a few bottles of it, and I was hooked. I could use it forever. It's really good thing. There's another thing for your mouth. Not too often, because then you're going to get the sugar in lemon, and there's another point on lemonizing your water, and that will actually enhance your candida. I can't lemonize my water. I tried it back a few years ago. Now and then I'd do it, but I can't do it. It's too much sugar for me in the lemon. So I take other paths, and I'll only use lemon basically for sweeping the little nanobacteria which are part of certain types of arthritis. Basically they build up in our joints like coral reefs, and you know, we are an upright walking column of salt water. Speaking about that quote I just said from David Wolfe, here's one of his products, the hops X Factor. That's something to look into if you haven't looked into that. Now it's kind of like resveratrol, which is that red pigment longevity substance which is well studied from wine, or red wine. And that's why red wine's said to make you live longer. That's a resveratrol. Now hops X Factor seems, this xanthohumol, seems to act like resveratrol and more. So that's what David Wolfe was saying, that's his product. And yeah, here's one thing, methanone. Look, it's a cancer-causing sort of thing. And the other day, someone said to me about a can of tuna that they didn't feel good, and I said, I remember eating tuna and I could feel the pain from it being ground up. Like I could literally feel the machine grinding part. So I don't know if they do that while they're alive or something, or what's the deal, if it's just hormonally trapped in there. I think it's the energy field that I'm feeling. I don't think it's got anything to do with hormones. Well, yeah, but it's the energy part or portion of all this puzzle that I'm feeling when I used to eat tuna and feel pain, and then also the chomping, like it going through the grinder. And very, very vividly, not just very subtly either. And it's interesting because the pain is associated with the methionine. It's like acidic and contractive, and you feel that in your body with things that you eat. Does it make your heart expand or your heart contract? Basically, your field. That's how you feel if something's acidic and alkaline as well. Or positively charged and negatively charged. Same thing. Same difference. If your chest expands or your viscera, you know, all your organs contract, they're not liking it, and that's the pain feeling you get from methionine or methanone, however you want to say it, methionine in these things mostly. So like cooked chicken and stuff, cooked meats and stuff, and mainly the tuna, you really feel it in there. And it's when you get that tacky feeling when you're eating it, you know, that tacky feeling, and it's like tacky and on your teeth when you chew it, and that's when it's really got high levels of methionine. Look, there's a lot on this page. Have a good look into all this. By many, many different websites. Some other video website here. So there's many different people. And there's the cashew. Let's end it there. It's beautiful, huh? And these are slideshows when you see these. So you can just play it. Okay. Hello guys. Alright, so I want to make a section on just like healing the gut, not just probiotics now, and specifically make a section on just, you know, gut dysbiosis, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, that's an acronym, Crohn's disease, dis-ease, it's like an autoimmune thing, So we're also going to try and discuss a little bit of maybe celiac, but not so much that way, I don't think. I think we're going to stay more on the Crohn's, because it seems to be more possibly what is related to you, Linnell, and since you are the donator, that this sort of video is a little bit dedicated to you, and especially this section of the video is completely sort of dedicated to you. And we're going to try and help other people at the same time. Not to kill two birds with one stone, but to bring, I don't know, 1 billion herd to heaven at once. Upgrade it. Right, so, sorry I went silent because I felt like meditating for a minute. So, you know, I was just trying to get back into tune as well with where I was a minute ago before I started this recording, and I was just thinking of things. And what I was thinking of was along the lines of all the parasitical action. And you know, if you don't think you have parasites, it's just like when you say you don't have an ego. The people who say they don't have ego are the ones who have it the most and are the worst in trouble. So it's the same thing. If you don't think you have parasites, we're all harbouring, whether it's bacteria strain A, B, C, D, Z, all the way to Z through the alphabet. There's millions of bacteria strains, and this is what I was just thinking before, you know. So we're very arrogant to think that we're not infected and that we're not affected, emotionally affected, you know, with an A, and E-affected, E-F. They are different. So, you know, it's interesting. We're all sort of affected by these, and we're sort of waking up to that, you know, and they really are like aliens. It's very interesting. Look at all these microscopic images. Maybe I should just go Google. And I think, yeah, let's do it. Let's go Google image all the parasites. This is where we're going to begin. I don't know how long we're going to talk for or what's going to be talked about. I just decided to start talking. So here we go. Let's just type in parasites. I'm not sure if I've even just done this into images. So what do I consider parasites? Remember, these are all real or rendered to be very close to what they see under electron microscopes and all this business. Wow, fleas. So, you know, I'm not talking so much about fleas. Maybe this is something that we're going to discuss. Let's have a look here. Yeah, so that's the main sort of definition, isn't it? We all sort of know that definition. It's kind of the opposite to a symbiote. And so what's a symbiote then? So immediately think, well, so this is the problem, how do I heal it? Well, kombucha, and something I also want to look into today, which I haven't looked into but I know of, and I have not taken, coconut aminos, which is another live culture, like kombucha. Kombucha is my favourite probiotic, like I mentioned in previous parts of this video, the probiotica video section. Yeah, and they do engineer the environment. It's a good point, you know. The parasites, they engineer a lot. Changing our brain chemistry, making you want the sugar hit every couple of hours if you're on sugar. And so when we reduce all that, our mind seems to calm down a lot. I've noticed when you go ketogenic, as they're calling it, where you put yourself on oil as the base for your so-called diet or your food intake, you know. Mix, say, a smoothie, a blend, not just a juice, so you keep the fiber, keep everything, just blend it. So you want fresh blends. You know, this is one of my favorite things to do. You feel totally, you know, all acidity is gone, you feel good suddenly, all your joints get blasted through with great nutrition, detox elements in the plants. So that's why I like eclectic smoothies a lot. And definitely that's gut healing. And, you know, if you keep the fibre, it even goes through your gut and takes all the shit off the side of your gut wall of your intestines. Remember? You have 40 foot of intestines or something like that. Some people. Most of us have near that amount. Some people would have more when it stretches out. So, well, this is interesting. Parasitic plants the world over have 15 to 20 times more concentrated nutrients than their hosts. Wow. Yeah, they're the moochers. Yeah, that's one thing I'm good at though, conserving my resources, which they don't seem to be good at, the parasites. And, you know, making your own energy. And how do we do that? Well, meditation's a good way because it just connects yourself, not because it's some religious practice. You don't do any routine in meditation. I don't. I do every new different body part meditation, new style, creed, class of meditation, whatever it is. I just integrate it, you know, and it's not really a routine that I do so much. You know, routines can be good on the lowest level, in the second dimension, the physical, to clean your teeth, you know, is a routine you want to do. Look, that's a good point. I mean, we could expand it, but you need to just realize everything I'm saying, I'm rolling over at an awesome asymptotic top level over everything. We're not trying to delve deep into one particular area. It's more of a jack of all trade approach, and you're going to eventually hit the cure, or you're going to become the cure. You never know. You never know if you never go. So there you go, you could read all that in the background while I'm slowly scrolling down as well, while I'm talking. So, you know, these things, we all have worms. If you've eaten any meat, you've got worms. Oh, that's bad. The grasshopper was all that or what? Oh, what is that? Alright, let's scare you into it. Well, sometimes we need a bit of this scaring, you know, just to see it and go, oh my god, they do this, you know, they take over. That's their nature. That's a parasite in a fish, but, you know, they take over. The tongue-eating parasite, African eyeworm, guinea worm. So we're incredibly lucky where we live in the first world, so to speak. Wow. Yeah, so there's a wide variety of parasites, as we could see there in that article. So, you know, more people have this than you'd think. Maybe not that full, but if you're eating raw sashimi, stuff like that, you know. So even things that are considered a bit healthy by society and in the shopping mall, you know, your sushi thing, a lot of people might consider that a lot healthier a meat. Well, it's raw and you can get worms. And, you know, your pork tapeworm, let's see what this thing is. Beef tapeworm, or fish tapeworm, all these. So how do we stay off meat then? 4 foods. It's cacao for the iron replacement. replace amino acids with. Like chia seed would be one thing to just add in a little bit in your water, and I mean a little bit, because you get too dehydrated. That's the only reason. I mean, if you want to do that and drink more, do it. That's just the only reason I don't take in a whole lot of chia. So maybe I'm not fully as hydrated as I should be, but I drink 3 litres or so, you know. Depends. Sometimes I'm too dehydrated. If I'm doing long study days, you know, 16-hour study days. Anyway, let's not go all over the internet. So how do we get the meat replacement going? Cacao for the iron, things for amino acids, even pawpaw leaf has 50, not 15, 50 amino acids. Pawpaw, papaya, carica leaves. The fruit also are good just before they're totally ripe. And when they're ripe. But just mix it up, eat the seeds, anti-parasitical. And you can dry the seeds of pawpaw if you can get hands on a pawpaw or papaya. Dry those seeds and make your own pepper out of that, because it's the same as pepper when you dry it out. Basically exactly the same, except it's more parasitical, I think, even more parasitical. So the pawpaw seeds, make your own pepper. So, you know, we're not really going to do ticks and fleas and blah blah blah. We're really trying to focus more on the end of let's put gut parasites. See what that brings up. More on this end of things, you know, gut parasites, intestinal. Carrots for parasites, interesting. By those people. Yeah, look, the thing about the eyes and parasites, I'm glad they've made me, reminded me of that. Eyes healthy and clear. Eyes healthy and clear. And yeah, definitely carrots will work some parasites out of your eyes. Great reminder, thanks to these people at findhomeremedy.com. Good reminder for me. Now we're going to go into lemon in a second and how that can increase parasites because it's sugary. But carrots, yes, no sugar, no calories. It's all sort of a for you thing, a builder, and a cleanser at the same time. It's a little bit of a cleanser and stripper at the same time. So I like these double foods, which are strippers and builders at the same time. So it's going to increase your eye vision with the vitamin A. I've talked a few times about eye nutrients. I know we're getting away from the gut, so I shouldn't. But zeaxanthin for focus, vitamin A for sort of clarity. So all these things do different things. Rutin, the deep vitamin C complex, which is in the most in bee pollen. That's like the back end of vitamin C, the brown sort of pigmentation end of vitamin C. You get more golden berries and that strong vitamin C, and camu berry is somewhere in between. So, you know, these have the vitamin A, which gives you the clarity and definitely deparasites. I'll feel that when I eat a few carrots. And it's going to keep you crunching. So, there's something, I read an article once by Osho. And if you don't know who Osho is, it's O-S-H-O. And he was just like a yogi, you might say, from India, and one of the good ones, and he was a loving fellow and all that. Good stuff, but I liked what he said, because he was a bit of a drunk, and he would say things, you know, very down to earth, and not try and sugarcoat it, and so on. And Osho would say in this article that when you eat meat, you become like a tiger, and your hands want it, and your mouth wants it, and that's indeed how I feel all energy of all food through my hands. There's eyes in your hands, like little chakras in your hands, and through the heart as well. And then in the third eye you can vision stuff sometimes. But you'll feel it in your hands and your heart a lot. If the food's acidic, you go inward as well, and if the food's alkaline, you go outward. Like your shoulders go back and your heart expands out more. You come more like an open lake, some people say. Anyway, let's move on to the lemon. It can be good for the gut, but it's too sugary and too enhancing of the parasites. For instance, I've got a little bit of a tooth problem right now, and I could not take lemon right now. It'd just be way too sugary. Mint, yeah, okay, but not the lemon. Some people are really into that lemon drink, and I feel that's the surface of all this. It's not very deep into it. Coconut oil, great. That's going to clean your gut out. Linnell, everyone, you know. That if you can get good stuff. Now, what's the good stuff? In Australia, in the vending machine at my university years ago, it was JT's, and it had a high vibration. It was so clear and clean and not rancid. Then I tried a few others. I tried up to 10 other coconut drinks, coconut water, not oil. And, you know, they just weren't as, they didn't have the same vibration. It was very interesting. JT's was a great one I found in Australia. JT, coconut water. Castor oil for parasites. Okay, I have not tried that, so I'm not going to be able to talk about it, but it's an oil. But I would say olive oil. And it's going to clean your liver at the same time. And if you're doing any parasite cleanses, whether it's any other organ in your body or the liver, which is possibly going to release fluke worms, if you have them. Who knows if you have them? I don't know. We have to find out by doing the cleanse, I guess. You see? So you never know if you never go. So you just try each one of these things. It's not about getting the routine of sticking to one thing. Okay, I like seeds of lemon, I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. That's not how we approach health. No. Okay, so sometimes, but yeah, the thing I like to do is occasionally pop a whole lemon or half a lemon into my smoothie or something. That's the way I'll get my lemon, keep the seeds in it, the skin, the anti-cancer property of the white stuff there. But it's not the best thing for the gut. I think there's better stuff. You're like, yeah, this is going to do its thing, but there's better stuff. Pomegranate's awesome. It's structured water. It's the best water ever. That's just awesome. You look at the fruit, it's like, I think hexagonal, or the six-sided, or five, no, it's pentagonal. I think the little seeds in there with the gel water around the outside, it's like amethyst, structured water. So yeah, papaya seeds, they're really good. That's what I would say for the first thing. So you start by stripping your stomach of parasites, stripping your organs of parasites before you try to build them up. Yeah, tomatoes are okay. They're pretty reasonable. Garlic, that's one of the strong ones, you know. We're going to move past that. 39 antibiotics have been found in this, natural or organic, natural nature style organic goodness. 39 antibiotics have been found in garlic varieties. So, I don't know, we'll move past the dairy. Hint, hint. Raw veggie juices, yeah. Well, I'm glad I skipped the dairy for this. Let me just end it there. So, these are really good. I'm trying to place the emphasis here. Because this is really the nutrient place, and we get everything. This is modernism. Because we didn't have a blender, the NutriBullet, you know, we didn't have the NutriBullet back in the jungle. So this is really stepping into modernism, and that's a layer we need to add. It's all fine and well to be grounded in the forest, but this is a great layer to add to our health. The modernity of the health movement, you know, the blender, the David Wolf. Yeah, if you don't know who David Wolf is, well, and the NutriBullet, check it out, because I think he's doing a good job on starting some health revolution there. He does a women's wellness conference as well. This guy. Look for all his videos, I'll show you. Longevity Now. YouTube. Okay, and you're going to go to that playlist. Watch all of his videos for sure, it's great, groundbreaking, You know, he puts it in perspective. It's pretty good. Maybe some people might say he goes over the top a bit, but oh well, he's allowed to do whatever he wants up there. He's doing a good job. You know, he's doing fine, I think. You have to be able to do half his job before you can complain. So this is all anti-parasitical. The cloves, the wormwood. Turmeric will be a bit more of a builder, decrease inflammation. Now, I'm again emphasizing turmeric. So what did we just pass? Wormwood and cloves. Black walnut as well for anti-parasitical. But it looks like we're ending on turmeric here. Great ending. I really enjoy turmeric on my salad. Like a tablespoon on my salad. 2 tablespoons. 4 tablespoons. Okay? That's what I'm doing in my salad. Start small, work your way up if you enjoy it. If it works good with your body, I love it. And I'll do up to 4 tablespoons on my salad. Now in my salad I'm also putting oil. It's not just like I put powder on and avoid, you know, obviously packaged, bottled, supermarket bought crap salad dressing. We're not into that. So the turmeric's good because it gives a flavour of cheesiness as well. Like we want to, you know, not really eat cheese if we want to heal our gut. We want to get off the dairy a bit, at least for a while, and when you get back on it you'll probably notice you don't really want it that much. Sometimes you want a good yogurt with multiple strains of bacteria, you know, lactobacillus, then the others as well, not just lactobacillus, you know. We want the other ones. You know, there's like 5 more good ones, main good ones. We're not going to get into that right now. Just look for yogurts, read the label. If it doesn't tell you, don't buy it. You need to read the label. What's it going to help you with, or what's it got in it. And for instance, my tincture labels are so small, all I can fit on my tincture label was, and maybe I should make it bigger and wrap it around the whole tincture, but I've only got like a label on the front which tells you what it helps with from my research on my tinctures that I try and sell to people here in Uruguay to help them. But I can't sell them internationally. I can teach you in a health consultation if you want for $111, anybody. For an hour and a half I can teach you about tinctures. Everything about it. So yeah, turmeric. It's highly anti-inflammatory. It's like number 5 or number 4 antioxidant in the world of natural, not synthetic, antioxidants in the ORAC value charts. ORAC. So turmeric, yeah, look, and the pigment shows us it's anti-inflammatory, by the way. An orangey yellow pigment, food, ginger as well, you notice, but other foods as well. It shows us through pigment what it's good for in our body, and if it's a brown food, it's going to be good for our gut. Premier herbs, because Crohn's is a autoimmune disease, even Ho Shou Wu. Now Ho Shou Wu affects the bottom half of the body like the most and more intensely. You feel it in your feet ligaments, your knees, your hips, but it's also a brown food and will help your gut as well. So Ho Shou Wu, it's a root. I used to think it was a mushroom, but I'm pretty sure it's a root. Let's have a look. For the 100th time, I go over a lot of herbs. Ho Shou Wu. Yeah, I even know how to spell it. So yeah, it's a root. Oops. Multiform. Yeah, it's the root here. Yeah, it's the root. So there's some Ho Shou Wu. Not interesting how it looks. This is one of the premier medicinal herbs in Chinese medicine. And yeah, definitely want to get onto that one for the gut as well, and just de-inflammation of the joints, cleaning your body out. It does many, many things. It's basically a super herb. You've heard of superfoods, which are more of foodie stuff, which are very building. A super herb is usually immune boosting, and it may be stripping as well. It'll strip things out of your body. So yeah, look, lots of parasites. Look, a lot of people know about this. I'm not the only one that knows about, you know, paw seeds are good for the anti-parasite thing, and it's a cheap way to do it. Cheap and effective. How much do you take? Well, just experiment with it. Remember not to piddle the doses. I learnt that from taking psychedelics. You don't want to piddle doses. You don't want to take small doses of things. You need to really, yes, at first to test if you have allergic reaction, basically, or some kind of immune reaction. No, see, that's the thing. You don't want to really worry about immune reactions overly. Yes, somewhat if it's severe, but it can be a parasite affecting your immune system to make a reaction, and so that's why if you piddle the dose, sometimes it's just going to make you feel bad, and you're not actually going to get through and fully kill the little parasites responsible. And it's bigger than you think, these parasites affecting us. It's really what we need to be focusing on a lot more. A lot of people are not talking about it enough. So kombucha, aminos, let's look into this aminos. Let's see. Yeah, so it's a live product, nutrient-rich sap of the coconut tree, so it's from the sap. Interesting. I did not know that. So it's like a replacement for soy sauce, like I heard before. Yeah, and you want to avoid soy, that's for sure. Soy is toxic. I've got massive links on that on one of the pages in consciousazine, a health page, in my website, consciousazine here, consciousazine.com. I'm not recording on the top part of the browser, sorry, but there, that's how we spell it. Here's a good point, because you have to be your authentic self to heal your gut, because, you know, it's your gut instinct, it's you, you know, it is really a big part of you. They say 85% of the immune system is in the gut. So it's a big part of you, you know, the gut. And we're not up to there yet, really. We're on Heart Math Institute. We've found out about the heart, and it's got neurons in the West Occidental countries, you know, UK, USA, Australia, etc. You know, and we're up to the Heart Math Institute, and in the East philosophies, they know about the lower Danjen. The lower mind is the gut brain. So not the heart brain, but the gut brain, and not the brain. Look, the emphasis of meditating, but while grounding, like at the beach, at night, at the day, whatever, alone, by yourself, is very important. You might not think it relates to gut health until you do it, and then you'll see how it relates to gut health. So let's go back here to the aminos. Yeah, look, there's points on soy. I've got heaps of articles on that as well. But the point is that the aminos is an alive culture, like the kombucha, which is a probiotic and it helps your body. It's it's beneficial for your probiotic, beneficial for your biota. And it's a good point, you know. So coconut aminos is one thing that we can get. Turmeric is going to wash through your whole system, de-inflame everything, everywhere. It's a whole body tonic. It's going to spread everywhere, not just your gut. So, and it's number 4 antioxidant or something like that. It's up there. Even if that chart I looked at by whoever made that chart I looked at was not completely correct, it's up there. Even if it's number 10, you know, antioxidant, it's right up there. And it's anti-inflammation. And, you know, I really like it. It sits in your body a bit more than ginger, maybe. Ginger's a bit more of a stripper. This is probably a bit more of a builder. So yeah, Ho Shou Wu. It's a tea that you make, and you see, if you get a chunk like that, you put that in your kettle by itself for 4 days. You reboil. No, you know, like, you don't even need to boil your water, but I'm just saying, conventionally speaking, you can go over 4 days to boiling it several times a day, twice a day. Have a cup in the morning, have a cup at night, leaving this piece in there for 4 days. And this is one of those herbs you can do that with. It's not going to go fungus, it's not going to go off. It's a good herb. Donkey sex, nice. Wow. So this is the Ho Shou Wu. Anyway, so yeah, what else can we look at? Alright, let's just have a look into Crohn's. Here we go. Specifically for Crohn's. Hookworms or what? So they're saying hookworms can be part of autoimmune disorders and Crohn's disease, but they're right. So they're attributing some of the hookworm that you may have from drinking. Look, that's right. There was a main point before I made this video. I was thinking to myself, just water is enough to stuff up your gut if you just take in tap water. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. So if any of you have been taking in tap water for a long time, that's going to affect your gut. Just that, without anything else considered. Not even considering anything else, just tap water. It's going to fuck your gut up. Have you been to when I was at school, they took me to a place where they mixed literally our shit, piss poo, our sewerage, in chemicals and then feed it back through the water supply. I went there for school, Sunshine Coast, Australia. So that was an eye-opener when I was a young kid. I realised we are drinking our own piss poo. And obviously we can get parasites just that way as well. So let's think, what are some ways to, let's just go into Crohn's for a second, I guess, still. So, you know, also another thing that's good about the chia seeds is they're that mucilaginous. You can also, and that's, you know, it's like a nice soft mucilaginous thing. It's going to replace the mucosa membrane in your gut and your body and help that mucosa membrane. So what we want to do is also take aloe vera and my favorite hydration drink, and here's where you can include lemon if you want. In the hydration drink, I'll put lemon. This is my favorite hydration recipe, lemon, or a little bit of lime and lemon, aloe vera, three insides to clear the edible aloe veras, which are very common, more common than you think. Most of the aloe veras on the street are edible. Go have a look, check it out. If it's clear on the inside, all those aloe veras are edible. With the orange flowers, look out for them. That's the type I'm using right now. The orange tubular flowers on the aloe vera plant. You just pick it from someone's yard on the side of the road. There's heaps of them here in Uruguay. Back in Australia they had some around. Maybe it's not so common in your neighbourhood, but if you have aloe vera, that's going to stick the hydration to your body and your cells. See, sometimes water just sort of rushes through us, and especially bad water, which is tap water, which, for instance, or any water which has attached particles and has been badly mineralized, like just really bad quality waters out there in bottled waters, or even just from plastic bottles from the estrogenization, the xenoestrogens. Just water that has its memory like partly taken, so it's, you know, it's got stuff in it. It's not just the H2O. And like really, you know, like tap water is a great example, because it's filled with hormones, antibiotics, piss poo, chemicals, this and that, fluoride, whatever. So really that does also wrecks the good guy bacteria like the kombuchas, the aminos in our stomach, stuff like that. And then also it can't grab onto your body and help your body as much because it's already got its memory sort of taken and slides through a lot and just doesn't hydrate you. You don't get the hydrogen, it's sort of caught up and not bioavailable. So here you have the usual theory: the cause of chronic inflammation in Crohn's disease is unknown. So we're not going to keep reading. Look, it's a connective thing, it's a whole body thing. That's why I'm approaching it the way I am, with the background of grounding, the background of hydration. All these things need to be done, otherwise you're going to die. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Eventually it's going to lead to your death, because our body is this finely tuned system where one system goes out of place in our body, it can often affect the next system next to it, and so on, you know. So there's cascade effects, so you need to look at your health from a ground up perspective and aquaponic perspective, you know, from the from the liquiditarian perspective, being a liquid, you know, more liquid than you are food. So you really need to realize that it's a whole body thing, and that ends up just creating a bad environment in your gut. Just, you know, we have a lot of intestines. It doesn't look like 40 foot here, but in our actual body, it can be up to 40 foot of intestines in you with worms and everything. You don't know, because we can't directly see it, you know. So the way we know is by poking at it and perturbing it with anti-parasitical substances, and then healing it after that, you know, with water and all these good herbs. And the super herbs, remember, like the Hoshu Wu's a super herb, and that's just one. And that's just one of the herbs. There's many. Just ask your local health shop what's good for the stomach, and just check out, you know. I don't know what they're going to be selling. It could be bad, it could be good. So you're going to have to discern. But, you know, at least you might have something in your local neighbourhood or around town that I might not be able to access where I am, even. So, and vice versa. So you just got to check your situation out in your life, your local area, what your health shops are selling, and where's the best place to get it all. And so it's an overview approach. We don't want to just look at these things very specifically. We want to look at them from a broader perspective as well. But let's go into gut dysbiosis. Dysbiosis. So again, fungus enters the scene. Bad fungi. So there's good and bad fungi. We seem to have a lot of problems when we interact with the bad fungi. They seem to be very powerful. So Sarah Gottfried's one of the ladies that talks with David Wolf too on the Longevity Now conference. Again, she mentions bacteria, yeast and parasites, see? So these are some symptoms if you have the dysbiosis. Look, most of us have a little bit of dysbiosis. It's like a broader thing. It's not like more particular, like if you have some specific thing like a specific like Crohn's or celiac, which is more from gluten, the celiac, and you know, from a clogged cheese and stuff like that. You get more celiac from a clogged sort of stomach and stuff. But then you also get dysbiosis, you know. So there's all these overspills, and this is multifloral and multifauna in there. But I was going to say multidimensional. You know, our mentality affects our stomach, our energy affects our stomach, our whole body, you know. So let's see what she says. Your microbiota consists of 1,000 microbes. Nice to see a number. Thanks for the article, Sarah. Because that's good. 1,000 microbes which outnumber human cells by tenfold. Synthesizing vitamin K and perform several key functions. The good microbes, or what? Synthesizing vitamin K, preventing your gut wall from becoming leaky and getting leaky gut and IBS. Digestion of cellulose, promoting angiogenesis. What's that again? It's the genesis of blood cells and blood like veins. Because in cancer, sometimes we want to stop the angiogenesis of the cancer and the tumour. Supporting enteric nerve function, keeping your immune system healthy and recognizing self versus non-self. Yes. What is the parasite and who is talking? Did you really want to eat that chocolate bar? Did you really want to eat that packet of chips? Did you really want to eat that pasta, that rice? Because rice is starch, which is sugar. The pasta is like a bit going to break down into sugar. It's carbohydrates, and then protein. Protein breaks down into sugar even. So really we want to stick to getting some coconut oil in us. It's also 51% lauric acid, antibacterial, and it's smooth on the gut. It's going to help rebuild the gut because of all the minerals in the coconut oil. It's great, you know, it's going to make you poo more. So I don't know how constipated any of you are, but I'm not. I poo every day. Once, sometimes twice, depending on my diet. And the more you go into smoothies, you might poo more. But it's good, you're going to clean yourself out. Hey, look, there's a lot of overflow. Other diseases you may get from a bad gut, to generalize. Oh, here's a good one. Is dysbiosis linked to misfiring hormones? Hells yes. Alright. So I don't know if you've got thyroid problems as well, Donnell, but grounding will help that, because your grounding when you're standing barefoot on earth will re-energize your thyroid. Actually, that's where it pulls up, and that's what you're trying to feel no pain at in your throat and completely clear. And you'll also heal your mouth like that, grounding properly through your teeth and everything, through your meridians, and your teeth are connected to your meridians. So grounding is more than meets the eye, you know, and it's everything that meets the eye as well, because it's the energetic underlayer flow, and the negative charge needs to be there for any body part to heal. And negative charge is what we attain when we ground off the earth, which has negative charge, and the atmosphere is positive. So raised beta glucuronidase activity in the body. I've not heard of this one. Cool. So how do we get that? Let's see what foods we can get this from. Alright, that looks a bit too intense. Foods containing maybe grapefruit. Possibly grapefruit, since it's come up in the images. Possibly that. Cucumber. So yeah, just if you on a raw vegetable and fruit diet, you're going to get it. That's the point I want to make. Whatever the substance is, you're most likely going to get it on super herbs, superfoods, vegetables, sea vegetables like seaweeds, you know. And what did I miss? Probably I missed one or two things, but those are good enough. You know, you eat raw fruits and veggies, that's good enough for most people to get to a place where you're steady in your health. Then we want to add in the super herbs, super spices, like turmeric is one of those, cayenne pepper, stuff like that. Super food, super herbs, super spices, super food, maybe like a goji berry, maybe like a moringa leaf tea. Just starting to add in all the, it's a super herb as well, moringa, and a superfood, but more of a super herb, I guess. So we want to boost our immune system. So we have things like GCMAF on. There's many layers to this, but if you eat good food, you seem to get most of these layers active, because the food contains all these like particles like this, molecules that are, you know, distinct to a certain type of food. So you eat across the board. You don't just have a strict diet. You want to eat, you know, not just have 10 cucumbers a day or 10 carrots a day. You want to really change it up. You don't want to be on all these strict diets too much. I think people are going overboard with all these strict diets. So here's some good links as well on this lady's article. Great. Look at all this. So that's just Sarah Gottfried. Anyway. So there's many ways to approach this. I'm going to end this video now, for now. Okay, hello everyone. Alright. Okay, so Linnell, I don't know what your diet is like. After I shoot this bit of video, I think I'm going to have to ask you what you are eating, like for a month maybe, I might ask, just to get a bit of an idea of some foods you might cycle through, and take a guess at other things you might touch or not, and try and get an overall idea of kind of what goes through your body. And I think I might even ask about, you know, the more information the better. if you are using, because it's about toxicity, remember, so it's entering the bathroom, it's entering every room in the house, whatever you do around your house, what your house is made of, and etc. So I mean, if it's this sort of autoimmune disease, if that's part of the problem here, which it may be, and it's not just, say, a little bit of gut dysbiosis or a little bit of, like, I don't know, little bit of inflammation or something. I think it's more than that, and I think you know, it's because we've just come through the 50 years where the monkeys sort of started playing with the chemicals. So you just got to realize where we are at this point in time in 2017. After World War One, about 80,000 chemicals have been created. So, you know, things like activated charcoal will get rid of 4,000 of those, maybe. If you're lucky, 6,000 of those, maybe. And then you notice there's still 75,000 chemicals left to deal with. So this is what we really want to focus ourselves on in healing your gut. Because, you know, some people out there are saying that something like 80% of the gut is, 80% of your immune system is in your gut. Well, I don't know, it's not really like that, because we have a cell-mediated immune system, and so that's all the cells in all your body, not just your gut, or your stomach, or your intestine. So we have a cell-mediated immune system, and then we also have a 4-humor system. And the humours are these biles, the bloods, the phlegm, the lymph system. And so this is why I say we really need to just look at the toxins, because your humours are infected, 100% for sure, unless you've been like full-on detoxing your whole life and, you know, really eating superfoods, which we haven't, because the superfood revolution is only just now. So really everyone is in a bit of trouble, in my opinion, and most people are quite toxic or very toxic. And, you know, we've gone through the parasite section and the worms and the things like this, and they really, you know, they alter our brain chemistry. If they are hungry, they send out stress, and then you feel stress because you're the body, or you think you're the body. And, you know, we need to disconnect our mind from the body in a way. It does need to happen. I know how it sounds like a schizophrenic notion, but we do need to somehow disconnect our mind from the body in a certain way, not to be disassociative, but a little bit, because we have to realize that we are not the body. We're much more than that, and we're multidimensional. So we're not going into all that now. That's not that video, but just to take it into account. So I'm gonna, you know, look at that angle for you, Linnell, and look, I don't know what you have. I can't remember if you said you have a certain diagnosis, like Crohn's or dysbiosis or IBS, or, but the thing is, they all, you know, or celiac. I know you didn't say celiac because I can't remember you saying that. I would have remembered that word. So you don't have celiacs. So that's why I'm leaning more into what I'm talking about, autoimmune side of things, a larger picture, you know, just in case you have two things. What if you have two things? We don't really know all the time, you know. We're not very good at being our own doctors, and the doctors are not very good at being doctors. So we're all a bit fucking confused, in my opinion. No one really knows what's going on. We're all just starting to discover. Oh, as we can see, only, what, 100 years ago or something, they were giving us radioactive water. Yeah, like I quoted here, or we could listen to the oncologist who have a big bowl of candy in their cancer clinic. Ah, yes, the establishment, the same guys who brought us radioactive drink. You know. So I don't know if you're on pharmaceuticals, if you're ever taking antibiotics for your condition, that needs to stop straight away, and that's the bullshit story. To heal your gut with antibiotics is like saying an atomic bomb is going to bring peace. So it's antibiotic. It's antibiota. This film was the opposite. It was probiota. Probiotica is the name of this film. So if you're on antibiotics, pharmaceuticals of any sort, you need to not just cold turkey, but you need to figure out your strategy, set up your new strategy in a healthy health food sort of way, and grounding and good water and etc. And you need to actually, what we're going to talk about in a second is fasting, in my opinion as well. Because listen, I've told you about turmeric, and you may know about turmeric, I don't know. It interacts with 700 genes. So that's a lot. So in my opinion, that's better than worrying about what Dr. Zebi says about it being man-made, or what someone else says about it containing oxalates. In my opinion, if it has 700 genetic effects, I'm going to take it. Because turmeric is just really a wonder, and it's an actual wonder food, you know. 700 genes, not many things do that sort of stuff. They don't interact with our body that much, you know, a lot of foods. Cannabis is another one, but hey, it's illegal in most places still, and it's probably too hard for you to get a hold of. But yeah, cannabis for your gut, for anything. For cannabis oil, if you can get it for healing anything in your body, I'll add it in. If you've got basically any problem in your body, you're going to want cannabis in there. It will help, in other words. Cannabis oil, you know, or something like that. A good product. Yeah, look, it's overall strategy is going to replace everything in your body over the next few years. You are what you eat. Every 28 days, your skin replaces itself. Every 5 months, your bones. Every 10 years, your body makes these new cells from food you eat. Every 7 years, you know, the cell cycle. So it doesn't matter if you're 50 or whatever age you are, you can still, in 28 days, replace some of your skin. You know, in 5 months, you start replacing your bones. And in 7 years, replacing your cells, you know, all of your cells. So it doesn't matter if you're 50, 60, in a month we can make change. In 5 months we can make change. That's the point, to me, of this picture. So we're going to talk about fasting and how that helps the process as well. I did just do a video with Anthony for another consultation with someone, and it's on YouTube. It's an excerpt of fasting frequencies and fucking, and health hormones to do with fucking. So the fasting portion, we went through mitochondria being motors of consciousness. We went through in-depth ghrelin, you know, the hungry molecule being created in the stomach. It's actually on the conscious knowledge page. If you don't want to watch the video on YouTube, you can just read all about it, fasting, on the, I've got heaps of links, and Pralhad Jani's there, and HRM with his sun-gazing method. It's here somewhere. Here on this page, Conscious Knowledge. Well, let's just go there, I guess. I was going to be on the Natural Remedies Guru page. So on this page is all about fasting. Let's go back anyway. So look, before we get into fasting more, I don't know how much water you drink. I know that you're not like dumb. I know you're not on the standard American diet. I know you're not on that sad diet, the standard American diet, or, you know, like chips, burgers, you know, pasta, what your normal sort of macro food diet that most people are still on, because you said you're having salads. However, I didn't ask how often you're having the salads, Linnell. So if you're having a salad now and then, well, that's not enough. I make a big bowl, and this is what I think everybody needs to do. And you know, leafy green vegetables should be a main part of your diet. I'm not going to talk percentage, like 50% of your diet or whatever. I'm not going to say percentages because people are different, and you know, even in the way we source more energy from. Some people need more carbohydrates, some people need more protein, some people need more fat. That triad of that. But a salad, the leafy greens, they need to be a huge part of our diet. It might indeed be, you know, half of your sort of diet, okay, of your food intake. I won't even call it a diet. So a salad every second day and a big bowl, that's fine. You'll stay alkaline enough. You know, you'll be happy enough in that. You'll get enough minerals like that. And that's fine. A big bowl, I mean, like a big bowl of salad every day, every second day is fine. You don't have to have it every day, and it's possibly even better to have it every second day for some people, because you know we can build up oxalates, and especially at the start if you don't know what you're doing, because you might tend to have too much spinach, and possibly it was you and another lady was telling me how they eat too much, how they had a gallbladder removal. I don't know if that was you, Linnell, or if that was another friend of mine who had gallbladder removed and they had stones, and I have all these people who tell me about kidney stones. So the point is, and you can get like liver stones, but they're softer, and we can do liver cleanses. But the point is, the oxalates and stuff that in the spinach, it is too high to always eat. So you don't, the point is, you don't want to be making a salad where you just make a big salad of spinach, a big salad of lettuce, or either or, you know. You want to start moving things in together and make it eclectic and synthesize ingredients. I'm always putting in apple cider vinegar and I'm always putting in oil. I mix my dressing, you know, I'm not just doing oil, I'm not just doing lemon, I mix it all in. Alright, and that's the best way to do it, and you're going to counterbalance things, you're going to get, you know, things breaking down, like the lemon will help break down some stuff, a tiny bit of honey will help break down the carbohydrates in the salad, it's got amylase enzyme, so you can add you know, a little bit of honey. Don't go overboard, because we're trying to go off sugar to heal your gut as well. Sugar needs to be in any diet, you know, it needs to be off the charts. It needs to be out of your life in any single diet that you take. There should be no sugar. So it doesn't matter what your problem is. One of the first things you should be doing is stopping sugar. Then your immune system can rest and take a look at your body and actually start to go attend any areas in your body which are, I don't know, have some kind of problem. So the sugar, you know, stops everything. It's like throwing sand into the gears, you know. Throwing sugar in our bodies like throwing sand into the gears. Plus, it's like cocaine on the dopamine receptor, and you get a high, but you crash a lot. And there's a lot of crashing going on with sugar. And that makes you moody. That can affect your gut. You send bad energy down to your gut via your third eye, if you don't know about the microcosmic orbit. So backpedaling for 2 minutes, I was talking about toxicity, and as we can see, our toxic world. You know, all these few corporations own hundreds of things and they sneak into our lives. We have no idea sometimes what product is coming from Kellogg's or Nestle or Kraft or Coke or Pepsi or Johnson & Johnson or this company or that company, you know, or whatever conglomerate is. They're reaching into our lives in ways we don't sometimes admit or care to see. And I'm trying to tell you to care to see it, because it's ubiquitous in most countries in the world, you know, and anyway. So, I don't know how much raw food you're eating, but here's your prescription. So, you're not on antibiotics anymore, you've come to me for your healing, and you should be listening to me now for your healing. Otherwise, don't come to me for your healing. Piss off. I don't want to deal with you if you're not going to listen. So if you've come to me for healing, so here's your prescription. Now, this isn't my picture. I didn't make this picture. It's a stab at the right direction. Okay? So this picture, in my opinion, has way too much fruit because, you know, fruit has a lot of sugar. We're trying to avoid that. You know, you can go things like blueberries. It's not overly sugar. Like, you know, if you go grapes or something, you know, and another good thing would be for you, Linnell, and people with gut problems would be not grapes because they have so much sugar, but cherries. They're massively anti-inflammatory. I love cherries. Okay, so go for the cherry if you go for the fruit, not the watermelon, because it's, again, a lot of sugar. Just look at the fruit and have a look. Is it a lot sugar? Or is it, you know, like more mineral? Is it more anti-inflammatory in action? Is it more something else other than sugar? Then take the fruit. Sometimes, like a pineapple, sugary, but it's really good probiotics. So that's another thing for your gut, because it's going to line your intestinal tracts with the good bacteria, probiotics. It's like taking kombucha. What you do is you wait for your pineapple to be orange. If it's brown, it's too far gone. It's on the edge. You can still just have that light brown colour from the orange, because remember, your gut is brown, and we're looking for foods which are brown as well, matching the pigment to the area of the body. Like yellow is anti-inflammatory, orange is anti-inflammatory always, if a food is orange. Blue is nervous system food, for instance, or purple. So there's many layers to attack this on. There's lots of pictures, however, in consciousazine. So it's not like you don't have, you know, the artillery or the firepower to go at this. Because there's hundreds of pictures in consciousazine, thousands. Just take 1-2 days. Or this is what, you know, I'll tell you how I do it. I start eating light or information. I start looking at all these pictures. If I go into any cleanse, any time period in my life where I eat better, where I'm focusing on my health, I start eating light. And what I mean is not just grounding and literally eating light. I mean more metaphorically eating information and eating light this way. You know, staying tuned to focusing on the change, not focusing on the past. You know, the key to change is focusing all your energy on the change and on the future aspect of it, and not looking back and, you know, looking backward and focusing on, you know, what went wrong. You do that for a minute, and then you focus on how to change that, you know. Anyway, so here's a good page where you can learn a lot besides just what's in certain foods. So this page tells you what certain foods are good for or have in them. And cilantro, yeah, I don't know if you have fillings for mercury. Cilantro is good to detox from your fillings and just help in that area, because it's going to chelate your body a bit. It's a bit of a chelation. You can also use EDTA, which is the best chelator apparently. That's what most people say in the health movement. But, you know, I'm always telling people to just eat the plants to do it all. And because that makes you switch into that style of life. Because if you just go get a colon cleanse and get a hose shoved up your butt, and then you do things that way, you stay a bit disconnected sometimes from living it. Like, you think you can. Some people, I have seen these people, and they can go back to their toxic environment, and they get the colon cleanse thinking they're healthy, sort of thing. It's kind of like a superficial way to approach it, is what I'm talking about. Sometimes people do. So look, a big page here on certain things, benefits of certain foods. Like here's one on turmeric. Again, turmeric. It's massively anti-inflammatory. You should be probably taking it. Most people should be on it. Maybe you have some weird allergenic reaction, I don't know. But yeah, avoid the lemon water because of the sugar. We're trying to stay off sugar. Not too much honey. If you can get raw honey from in the neighborhood or out back somewhere, you know, get the raw honey. The right amount of raw honey in your diet is really good, but it's always going to have to be a small amount because it's powerfully sugar. It's very sugary as well as healing. It's definitely a medicine, but you just got to learn how to use it. You can use it exteriorly on your skin as well. And then is obviously chlorella and chlorophyll and stuff that you can detox your body with. Again, just start eating a big salad all the time, and you get that stuff through you. You know, if you look up, say, what's in parsley, it's got a nutritional profile down the page. It's got a little bit of everything. So you start eating the parsley. And parsley, by the way, is my main salad green. It breaks down really easily. It's very thin and it's very iron rich. I love it, and I just really like the taste as well. And I don't know, it's just, it seems to be my favorite green. I seem to be able to absorb the nutrition out of it. I think that's what I like from it. I get every last drop of nutrition out of parsley, and it's not so with everything else, because everything else, all like chard, spinach, they're all harder to break down for in our body. Kale. If you're eating kale in your salad, you're going to have to put some lemon in there to cut it. It's too alkaline. You need to acidify. And, you know, lemon turns alkaline in our body, I know, but it's an acid and it helps break it down. It's a little bit of lemon and a little bit of honey for your sugars. But then that's all you have for your sugar in that day. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, you can have sugar only if you do it the right way, and very tricky. But, like, you know, like this, putting half a lemon on your salad, or a whole lemon, maybe if it's a big salad, I'll probably just go with half a lemon and a little bit of honey. And that's going to help you break down the salad, since you've got a gut problem. And honey is not the worst thing for your gut, on the inside of your gut wall. It's not going to be the worst thing for in there. It's a little bit sugary, but it's also honey. If anyone who knows what honey is as a being knows it's a healer and it's a medicine. Every culture in every part of the world who lives off the land knows about honey. And now here's another good combo, honey and cinnamon. So you're going to take a little spoonful. If you've got the cinnamon powder, put it in the honey, tablespoon, put that on your salad. So we're going to embed the foods. So we're not just going to eat a chocolate bar, which isn't even cacao, with sugar, and then say that, you know, that's the sugar we're having for the day. We're going to go really, really smart. And, you know, put the cinnamon, you know, one of the highest antioxidants in the world. Look at the color of the cinnamon in there. It turns red when you make tincture. It's like a red pigment, cinnamon. You can check my tincture videos. So also berries. Since you have a gut problem, and berries are, again, mucilaginous, like I mentioned yesterday in my video, I was saying to you that in the last part of this video, aloe vera and chia seeds. Well, also berries, because they're easy on the gut wall. And obviously you want to be stopping things that are the opposite then, like bread. Bread's going to go through and scrape through your gut, and if you have to have a sandwich, put something like avocado on it, so that it's going to envelop the sharp corners of the bread. It's not going to scrape through your belly, you know, the belly of the beast. So yeah, you know, just all kinds of berries. There's so many berries out there, and I'm pretty sure you're from America. So in America, you're going to have shops where there's going to be plenty of berries available. So start getting on some berries, and you're going to say, Ben, what about the sugar? Well, this is another way to get the good sugar. At least this is attached to good stuff, this sugar. And yeah, watch it, but say go on goji berries. It's not a sugary berry, it's more of a medicine. Go on the goji berries. Go on the golden berry, the Inca berry. That's vitamin C. It's the most vitamin C berry. It's the highest antioxidant vitamin C berry, the golden berry. We need a few of those, and it gives you some protein as well. So, just be tricky with how you do it, and I really think you need to approach it this way. You need to start just approaching your gut problem with food. And it might sound counterintuitive, and we're going to talk about fasting more in a second. I guess now, actually, it would be a good time to enter that. So I want you to approach this with your food, not with an antibiotic pill, not with worry, not with anything else, but I want you to approach your gut problem with smart food and thinking about what is going to help it, Maybe you have been doing that, and that's what I'm here to help you further. So we've talked about detox elements, things from activated charcoal to wormwood to black walnut for anti-parasiting. However, be careful, because you do have gut inflammation. You don't want to go in there and rip through the gut, too crazy. So that's where fasting enters, and you can lower your doses. When you're fasting, you can lower your doses of the of wormwood, of your black walnut, of your turmeric, of your this, of your that, of all your anti-parasitical stuff. You can lower the doses because you're fasting. So when you're fasting, you can lower the doses. So fasting. We could go to the other page, but I'm not. I'm going to keep scrolling past all these things so you can just keep reading this behind on the Natural Remedies Guru page. So fasting. So just 3 days first. Just try 3 days first. If you have to eat something, yeah, you can. It's still fasting if you're eating something. There's different types of fasting. Fasting is all the way from cutting out one food and fasting from that one food, all the way to dry fasting, the extreme end of fasting, which is having nothing. Just sitting in the sun, grounded. That's dry fasting. I'm not telling you to do that, but that's ultimately what you want to try to do. That's what you're aiming at. Dry fasting is what you're aiming at. If you can do it, that's what you do. If you at some point your mind is too weak during the day and you have to nibble on something, have something. But you're still fasting. Notice you're still doing it. So there's no need to go, oh, I just stuffed up my whole fast. Oh no, I ate like a piece of broccoli. That's fine. You're still fasting from everything else. So just realize what a fast is. It doesn't have to be just dry fasting. A fast can just be taking magic mushrooms. A fasting can just be taking olive oil and doing the liver cleanse, or just taking olives, just eating olives for 3 days. So just get a fast going, and that's a good idea, because this is one of the other premier fat foods, that and avocado. And actually, we did mention ketogenesis and a ketogenic diet. With the olive oil, with the coconut oil, I told you to take some coconut oil and stop sugar, probably an hour and a half ago in this video. But olives as well. Olives are fatty. They've got the good fatty acids and the fatty, and they can sustain you, and we want to go ketogenic. We're going fasting, and so what you want to fast onto is greens and fatty fruits, not sugary fruits. After the 3-day fast, yeah, okay, go take some berries, have some other fruit. But during the fast, no sugar fruits. So you're just going to have avocado and you're going to have olives. Basically, that's where it ends. That's why they're so good, because they're so rare. There's only these 2 really good fatty fruits, olives and avocado. So you've got to make friends with them. Otherwise, I really feel you're resisting what you need. People go, oh, but I don't like the taste. Well, that doesn't matter. That's not what we're not on about taste. We're on about healing ourselves right now. You've got a problem. We're trying to heal it. So it's got nothing to do with taste and what it tastes like. That shouldn't even be a thought. If that is a thought that comes up, that's the parasites, and that was not your thought. If you disagree, stop watching the video. I don't care. I know it now. I know this not from listening to people. I know this from my experience and from listening to people. It's something that I've concluded. Okay, so you need to realize when you're thinking and when your parasites are thinking, and that's why we do the parasite cleanses first, so that you can get to a stage where at least you become more yourself and you can make better decisions. So the olives and the olive oil and the ketogenic oil diet, the oil-based diet, because protein still turns into sugar, and the oils actually do a different thing. They're the only thing that does a different thing apart from sugar. The carbohydrates and the protein turn into sugar. The oils actually turn to these it makes this ketogenesis in the body occur, and you start living on ketones, and you go on a ketogenic diet, we call it, and it's fat-based, so you get your energy from the fat, from the oil, and what we then do is get smart and say, okay, we don't live in the jungle anymore. We don't have to just have it from animal fat. We can have it from olives or avocado or olive oil or coconut oil, you know, and get our fats that way. Okay. So basically, you're getting off anything packaged, any packaged foods, canned foods, crap from the store that is crap food. That's not real food. It's not good. There's many problems. I'm not going to go into every little detail of it. And you're trying to get on the live foods. So I didn't know bromelain was concentrated in the core. Interesting. Yeah, look, the pineapple can treat the constipation, and the constipation may be part of what you have going on, Linnell. I don't know. How much water are you drinking? Are you drinking 2-3 litres a day? If not, well then get on it. And the thing is, the 2 and 3 litres does not necessarily have to come from a water bottle. It can come from fruit, some of it, you know. So that 3 litres a day or something, you might get half a litre out of the fruit you're eating, or something, you know. A fruit salad now and then, I'm not saying no, but what we're trying to do firstly is cut out all sugar. So that comes later, a fruit salad. A fruit salad's where you might end up having, you know, now and then, but not in the beginning. In the beginning, we're trying to go ketogenic, we're trying to fast, we're trying to kill parasites, we're trying to disconnect any habits and deep-seated contraction cycles, mental cycles, you know, emotional eating cycles. And so that's why we're going ketogenic at the start and off the sugar and onto the big salad, because in the salad, when you start having multiple salad greens, a little bit of chard, a little bit of parsley, a little bit of cabbage, this is what I do like to do. Okay, and then you've got your turmeric, you've got your oil in there, you've got olive oil, so you've got oleorupine and everything else that's good about olive oil, but oleorupine is the antifungal component. So you're going to go through your body and start to antifungalize yourself, and nobody seems to think that fungus is in their body. We all have it, especially if you've got any weight to your body. But look, we just want to clean it out with even just things like that. The easy level, just olive oil. It's not going to hurt your body, is what I mean by easy. It's going to be easy on your body. So oleorupine in olive oil even. So it's knowledge is power here, because you possibly didn't know that that antifungal component was in olive oil. And if you didn't, well then now you know, and you realize it gives you that relief that it's not that hard. And it is really just about eating all these like raw foods, because then you get everything nature intended for us, you know. Now also iodine for the thyroid, all of that, that's all peripheral, because we're talking about the gut. Really, we're trying to really focus in on the gut right now. So zeolite, all this stuff is a little bit more peripheral. It's going to be more on the detox and the cleansing of parasites side of things. You want to get off the things like soy. I don't know if you've been taught that soy is good, but I'm going to tell you, can you just try to get off it for this diet? Ginger, obviously very anti-inflammatory. So your seeds break down acidic in the body. Most of the seeds are breaking down acidic in the body, so you put them on the salad. It's another layer. Because you've got a whole big bowl of greens which are alkaline, then you can put some acid stuff on there. So you're going to put your sunflower seed, put your quinoa, your chia, whatever seeds you want, your pumpkin seeds I'd recommend, on the top of your salad. And so the point of the salad is that it becomes your meal, and you do that by layering it up. So it's not just rabbit food, as they say. It's not just like a chard salad or a spinach salad. What we want to actually do is layer it up. You put your turmeric, you put your seeds, you put your salad dressing on, which is maybe lemon, olive oil, and apple cider vinegar. And you put your turmeric through there, 2 tablespoons, a tablespoon. And you've already got a good salad going there. You put your little bit of honey on. Then you're going to put your nuts in, and your avocado for your fats, your olives for your fats. And you're going to put that on your salad, and then your salad does become your meal and a detox at the same time, and it disconnects the parasites. I've noticed when you're chewing, it's helping your meridians clear via the stress clearing from your meridians, which are connected to your teeth. That, the de-stressing feeling of chewing, that's part of emotional eating. And also, I don't know if you have fillings, mercury, or how your mouth health is, but your mouth health does affect your gut. So there's many recipes, not just baking soda for your teeth, and I've never actually really just done that. I have, but I'm not into it. It's like seems too much to scrape my teeth too much. A little bit of turmeric and coconut oil for your teeth. Throw in a little bit of baking soda now and then, but I don't like to stay on this for my teeth. That was like something that was years ago. That's like so 5 years ago, you know. I think it's a bit better of an idea to do, not always oil pulling, not just oil pulling, but you want to add oil pulling in. I still use sometimes some Colgate. At the moment I'm on it because I've ran out of other substances. But for the last few years, what I mainly did was oil pulling, where I'd put oregano and thyme in the oil. So I'd put my herbs in the oil, and so I'd get the antibacterial, antifungal, etc. properties of the oregano, which is antiseptic, even anesthetic. So oregano oil in the mouth is just super. Neem, things like that, neem toothpaste, gonoderma, mangandungi, which is a gonoderma mushroom. I had that for the last few years. But yeah, unfortunately at the moment I'm back onto the Colgate pretty much, a lot more. I just also finished a little thing of turmeric, activated charcoal, coral calcium, and licorice root powder, and that was just another powder. Now, with the powders, that package, they were smart, because they said you can't use that more than 3 times a week, because you get your enamel off. So you do have to be smart with getting off Colgate. You can't just switch from Colgate to baking soda. That's just a stupid thing to do. You're going to run into trouble somewhere. There's all these things, like all these essential oils you can put in your mouth too. It becomes an all-day strategy when you come off Colgate, because Colgate's an antibiotic. Remember I told you not to take antibiotics? I did say that through the film, and I didn't just mean the pills. Really, ultimately we want to get off the Colgate too, because it's antibiotic. It just goes in your mouth and it kills everything. It's anti-biota. So our strategy is to become biota pro-biota. Anyway, here's a meat-based diet, and you get these polyps on the side of your intestine. So I don't know if that's what you have at all in there, if you've been on a lot of meat in your life. I don't know, but we will talk after I shoot this bit of video. But I think I just wanted to show everyone all of this, you know, to help other people apart from you. And the polyp here is the meat sort of shit stuck in there. Now, if we have olive oil and stuff, it's going to start to go through grapefruit juice. It's going to start to go through and sort of dissolve this. So there's baking bicarb soda, indeed. Get, you know, a teaspoon, a tablespoon, put it in a water glass, have 2 bicarb soda glasses with zeolite a day. You can do all this stuff, and it's going to clear this stuff out, you know. Activated charcoal will get that out. So we've mentioned all the things. In other words, you just have to trust the words that I've used. And you really just need to be listening to the words that I'm using and go ahead and look into those words and integrate those words, those substances that I've mentioned, into your life. So remember, wheatgrass is not exactly the amazo thing that's so 10 years ago, because chlorella actually contains like 10 times more, and chlorella is the highest chlorophyll food, and chlorophyll is 1 atom away from human blood. So it's basically blood replacement when we have green smoothies as well. So it's purifying the blood because there's a lot of chlorophyll. Oh, look at that one. I will permit you to have the sugar in mango if you promise to make this. Avocado mango broccoli salad. Oh, wow. Yeah, that does not look too bad. You can make that. Go ahead and do that. Another thing you can do for a stomach tonic is actually mango leaves. Try to avoid the mistake I made, which was turpentine mango leaves. They've got too many turpentines or terpenes in the mango leaves. So you just go for just, I don't know, your Bowen mango if you're an Australian. Other mango varieties which are not turpentine mangoes. So the type of mangoes with the least terpenes in them, you can get their leaves, and you can get 10 leaves, put it in your pot, bring it to the boil, or not even bring it to the boil 80 degrees if you're a pedantic and you don't want to get a leukocytic reaction. You don't boil your tea. Anyway, bring it to the boil, or whatever you want to do, not boil it, and then, you know, this is a stomach tonic, and it cleans out your stomach, I noticed. That was the feeling I had from it. However, because I did the turpentine mango, I actually, in my 4-foot length pores, our pores are like 4 foot in our skin, they can be very long. Actually, I felt for 3 or 4 days, 5 days, like crystals, the terpenes coming out of my lymph system and out of my pores. So, and I broke out in rash from mango leaf tea, but it was because it was the turpentine mango. So you can take all the other mango leaves, probably they'll be fine, or at least try it, because it did work on my stomach at least, even though I got the skin reaction. Hemp seeds, well, you know, in my opinion, they should be in your diet. I wish I could have them. They're not here in Uruguay. In Australia, I did eat them. The hemp seeds are like the best protein source in the world. The others are all under them. Yeah, sure, there's many good, like spirulina, great source of protein. In my opinion, I want the hemp seeds. It's more filling. Now, you can argue definitely spirulina is better. You can't argue that. But I'm saying I like the hemp seeds better because they're so dense, and they really, like a handful really satiates me. Like I really feel like I had some sort of like meat meal or something, you know. I feel like I ate half a cow when I have hemp seeds. So the hemp seeds really are my favourite protein. So and that's the type of protein that's not going to break down into the sugar. Aha! We've discovered something here, because this is going to help your ketogenesis. Why? Because it's all the fattiness. look at, sometimes they sweat with fat. If you've ever had your hemp seeds in the sun for an hour, like when I was homeless and I had my hemp seeds in the sun in the car for an hour, they start sweating. And it's like olives, you know, or like avocado. It's because they're fats. And so that's going to help your ketogenesis, actually, the hemp seed. So I'm glad we stumbled upon this post. And I didn't mention it before. But yeah, so that's like the best sort of fat and protein combo you're going to get. Hemp seeds. And it's good on your gut. Look at them. They're very soft. They're not even hard at all. So you want to be including these in. And they're so nutrient rich that I'm going to have to show you how nutrient rich. That's how nutrient rich they are. I'm going to have to show you. So we're going to go to Larice hemp seed. Larice. Let's have a look. The only reason I like Larice ones is because they say it on their website here. Well, not here, but on their website I did attain what we're about to look at. This is a subdomain. This is my website, and this is a subdomain off the main website, consciousazine. And in this website, Holy Stick Healing, we're going to go to the nootropic page because it's a natural nootropic. I don't know if you're familiar with nootropics, but they're brain-enhancing substances which the establishment and the fake apothecary chemists type white coat doctors seem to think are like racetam and piracetam and all these things, which may end up having a little bit of toxicity. In my opinion, the real nootropics are things like hemp seed and bee pollen and ginkgo biloba and stuff like things that act on your brain. But mainly things like hemp seed and bee pollen. And Fucus vesalicosus, for instance. These are nootropics. Fucus vesalicosus bladderwrack. Seaweed. Anyway, look, this is why I like hemp seed so much. Look at this profile. And this was from Larice's hemp seed, their website. So that's where I screencasted this and copied and pasted it into my website. But hey, look, it's from Larice. It's, what do you call it, referenced. I'm not saying I made this. Okay. Actually, maybe I should put, oh no, look, see? It's there. I even kept in the URL. So here we go. Look, amazing breakdown of stuff. The only thing that is kind of wrong here is the omega-3s in the hemp seed are less than the omega-6, and the omega-6 bump out of the way omega-3s in the receptorite. So actually there's something called UDO's formula if you're really worried about your brain and cognition, and as you're getting older, for instance, Linnell, you would be, and plus omega-3s are going to be essential to healing like your gut because they're another one of the good oils. And people might go, hold on Ben, did you just say omega-3s are essential for healing the gut? How so? Well, here's how so. Just because we want to get on a new lifestyle, and if you're avoiding the answers, and there's only very few answers, the only few answers or the best foods are hemp seed, it's not cow meat. You know what I'm saying? So why I just said omega-3s are going to help you with your gut is just by having it in your diet. And plus we can't stay on just omega-6 olive oil all the time because there's too much omega-6 and that builds up to fat, and then you get omega-6 problems. There's problems that come from having too much omega-6. Anyway, so UDO's oil, UDO, he actually has, I think, a 2-to-1 omega-3 to 1, so 2 omega-3 percentage to 1 omega-6 in his oil. So it's a specific oil called UDO's oil. There's another good product, UDO oil. He'll have his little face on the front of it, so you know what it looks like here. There's UDO. And that used to be in the health shops in Australia. And it's really good because it's got more omega-3 so that these don't barge, because they're bigger molecules, they barge out of the way of the omega-3. And the omega-3 is going to be important even for your gut, because the gut-brain axis, just that alone, just because of the gut-brain axis, so that your brain can better talk to your gut, to increase your will force on your gut, reduce the parasitical will force back from the gut to the brain. That's why omega-3 can even be touted in here. Okay, and there's more reasons. I can keep going on the omega-3. Well, just because it's an oil, and it's a thin oil. And if you get that through your gut, it's a thin oil like avocado oil is a nice thin oil. You know, it's going to be really thin. And it's just going to be really healing and nice for your gut. It's not going to be sticky. It's not going to be, you know, too homogeneous and unmoving. It's a nice thin oil. These are like the best oils for our body. Cannabis oil, you know, is another thin oil. It's not coconut oil, you know, is the opposite. It's a really thick oil. However, it's coconut oil. It's special. It's got too much going for it to be talked down about. Monocapron in the look. There's other things apart from lauric acid in coconut oil. There's monocapron and all these other things that do special things as well. There's like 100 uses for coconut oil. So anyway, look at the breakdown of the amino acid profile here. So that's why it's so proteinous, so much protein, because it's so much amino acid profile. Pawpaw leaf, 50 amino acids though. So that has to be called a superfood as well. Anyway, let's get back to the Natural Remedies Guru page. So yeah, I think I can pretty much end it there. We've, you know, rewatch this video because I understand it would probably be pretty complex. We've gone through a lot, so just I don't want to keep going because I don't want to add any confusion. I really feel we've covered the main points. Things like the ketogenesis. You're going to fast, block fast 3 days here and there, and then when after you fast, don't get back on crap food. After you fast, you're going to try and get onto that salad, you know, a day or every second day. You're going to try and, you know, integrate everything into your life after the fast, not just go back to the old ways. And, you know, I think we've covered all the main sort of points here. We could go more into depth into each point, but that's why I don't really want to get it too confusing. Now, beetroots is one more thing I'll say. Because of the liver, because you're going to be changing your diet, you're going to be detoxing, you're going to be releasing parasites because you're doing parasitical cleanses as well. And all this toxicity that you're going to release will have to go through the liver. The liver detoxes the body with methyl groups, which are in beetroots the best. And you've got the beneficial betalanes of the beetroot. And the betalanes are going to help you detox, and the methyl groups in here are the best out of any food. You're going to try and get it in juice form, not just, you can slice it and put it on your salad, for sure, eat it, get it any way you can. But yeah, try and juice it a bit too, with celery. It's a good combo, very thin juice, and you don't have to stay on that, you don't need to stay on that all day. Just add it in, and it should be there in your diet. Even the beetroots are going to be cooling and anti-inflammatory going through your gut. So the beetroots are going to be very beneficial in many ways, but I'm trying to point out that the methylation is required. This is mandatory. Just like the ketogenesis, the fasting, the beetroots are mandatory. Okay? Otherwise you're just kidding yourself and don't get another consultation from me, and you know what I mean. So the beetroots are mandatory, you want to add them in. The methylation is the stage 1 liver detoxification, stage 1, and then it goes into other stages like the glucosolinating, so that's why later on you do want to eat berries and you do want a little tiny bit of glucose in your system and stuff for later stages of liver cleansing. But first, you know, and this is the main part, because we've got 80,000 toxins since World War One. They all get dealt with, every toxin, with the methyl group. The methyl grabs it and takes it out. So if you don't have the methyl, you can't, detox with your liver, and you can't detox your body, and you can't do any of these detoxes because you're going to end up just expelling toxins from fat, expelling toxins from organs in your body. When you're doing parasite cleanses, you're going to be expelling toxins from the parasites themselves. They're going to shit themselves. They're going to release toxins through their poo, the parasites. And so all these toxins are going to run into your bloodstream. So, and that's why we also colon cleanse before stuff. And you eat your beetroot. Okay, so I'm going to end it there.